ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring in people that if you watch this program, you know them because they're always playing our Today, Yesterday trivia game, which they will again today in about a half hour from now. But I want to talk to them first. I want to get to know these people who are Cynthia Shub and her husband, Jeffrey Kirsch. And they, let's hope, are in the neighborhood. And here they are. They're waving. Oh, and they have their dogs.
All three of them.
Dogs.
Gallery view.
Oh, do gallery view. Where do I need to do the gallery view to see? Here it is. I don't know how to get rid of that. How do I collapse that?
It's okay,
I can minimize that. Okay. Well, anyway, welcome to Cynthia and Jeff. And who else is joining you there?
Well, this one is Bogey.
Hello, Bogey.
And then you have Waylon over here.
Hello, Waylon. Hello, Bogey. Are they part Doxy? What are they?
They're rescues.
Oh, they're a little bit of everything.
And there's one more on the floor.
Oh, good Lord.
They look like Murray.
Because I was commenting to Joyce on your Facebook page that you have pictures of other dogs. I guess your older, late dogs. You used to have 2 dachshunds.
No, we had 2 beagles.
Those were beagles?
Yes.
They looked exactly like one short-haired dachshund and a wire-haired dachshund, just like.
I think you.
Because didn't they look like Doxies? They didn't look like beagles at all, but I guess they're still habits.
Unless you're thinking of this one.
Oh my God, there he is. That's one of them. That's a beagle?
No. This is half Jack Russell, half poodle.
Oh, he looks we thought he was a wire-haired Doxy. I see my face. I see wire-haired Doxy. Oh, look. Can you see him? He's the cutest thing ever.
Beard and eyebrows.
Yes. How old is he?
At 7.
Oh, he's only isn't that the most adorable? We don't have to talk to you. We're just going to look at dogs for half an hour. This is just the cutest
dog ever.
This is Marlin.
Marlin. Marlin is. They're all really, really sweet. Yay.
And this is the sweetest dog ever.
Is which? So what did you say was Marlin? Marlin was the what dog? Most dog ever?
Marlin is Jack Russell Poodle.
Yeah, but you say he's the whatest dog ever?
Oh, smartest.
He's the smartest. He's the sweetest. And the other one is just like, I don't know.
The hungriest.
Oh, the hungriest. Okay, got it. So, how are you guys? How long you guys been married?
It'll be 33 years.
As Rabbi Solomon would say, mit mazel, mit glick. How did you guys meet?
It is a very strange story.
I love very strange stories.
Try to do it quickly. I was riding the Long Island Railroad, and I overheard people talking about a co-op they had to sell in the neighborhood. I lived in Queens at the time, and my younger sister, Stacy, was looking for a co-op. So I went up, we talked about it. It didn't work for her, but we became friends. And they bought a house on Long Island. Now go to Jeff.
As a chiropractor, not in the city, but then in Queens. On a lunch break, she was walking down Austin Street, and a woman sees an older woman, and they stop and stare at each other. It's my aunt. We hadn't seen my aunt since my father had died 13 years before. But we just didn't have any contact with them, but they recognized each other. And she told me, I contacted the aunt, and they were selling their house, moving to Florida. So I figured, let me meet them one more time before they go. I'll probably never see them again. So in the morning, I went with my sister to breakfast at their house
in
Valley Stream.
Oh, yeah.
The couple who bought the house is there measuring because they're ordering carpet. And I'm talking with the couple, very nice couple, and just talking to me, what do I do? I tell them I'm an attorney and where I live. And she goes, you know, I'm single. She goes, but my sister was a girlfriend or a fiance. I said, yeah, I'm single. So I said, I want you to meet. And she gives me a phone number without her permission. That's Cynthia's permission.
Never gave permission to give out my number.
So I called, and we're talking for a long time. We're getting along very well. It's a very nice conversation. And we decided to go on a date.
But I insisted on bringing them along. I said, if I'm going on a date, you're coming with.
Okay, you chaperoned back in the day. I get it. 33 years ago.
We went to Chinatown. We went to Little Italy. It was a very nice date. And Jeff took me back to my apartment.
And I was looking for an attorney at the time.
Jeff, one thing, if I could have you get a little closer to the camera, to the microphone, really, that'd be really helpful.
So I was working for an attorney at the time, and this is in the mid '80s, where computers were just coming into offices. I knew nothing about computers, and the attorney wanted us all to learn computers, to use them ourselves, be our own secretaries, basically. And
I happened to have a computer, one of the first PCs that was out, because it's what I did at the Bank of New York. And so I had a computer, and I was showing him how to use it. And he decided to propose to me that night.
Whoa!
I've never met anybody that I got along with so fast, so well.
So wait, how long was between meeting and the proposal?
5 hours, 6 hours. It turns out we were on the computer all night.
Well, yeah.
Teaching me, how to play pool on the computer, and how to do documents, everything I could do. Games, work. This thing I know, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's light outside, and it turns out my mother was frantic. She was trying to call me, get in touch with me. She didn't know where I was, and she thought I was dead in the street somewhere or in a police station.
Yeah.
And no, just met somebody and just working all night. And my mother, yeah, right, working.
I was teaching him how to actually play pool on the computer.
Well, I didn't know you could even do that, like virtual billiards.
Very, very.
I didn't know that he was into pool. It just was a coincidence. But we really had so many things in common. I grew up on the North Shore. I grew up in Roslyn, and he grew up in the South Shore in the 5 towns.
We knew each other when we were very young.
But we had friends in common. He actually went to summer camp, at the same summer camp as my younger sister. Yeah. And so my sister and his sister knew each other.
Well, it's the equivalent of like when people from this New York area would go to the Catskills for the summer at a certain age, and they were there basically to meet people of the opposite sex. And of course, it turned out this cousin knew that one, and they're connected this way. And oh, you lived on this street in Avenue M? Well, my uncle lived right there. I used to visit him. I was probably passing by your. I mean, that's just the whole culture of it.
It's Jewish geography.
It is indeed. So you said yes when he proposed.
No, I actually said, would it be okay if I gave you an answer tomorrow?
And did you give her the 24-hour window? And what was your answer? Yeah.
We got married. That was September 1st, and we got married in December.
Wow, and it's lasting, and it's stuck. That's the amazing thing. Some people have courtships that go on for 3-4 years. They get married,
and we've done divorces for those people. So
yeah,
together they date for 14 years. They get married, and right away they're getting divorced. No, we decided we'll just get married then.
Where did we go?
Well, I didn't hear that.
What you said? You ever break up? Where did we go?
Where would we go?
Where would you go at this point? Well, yeah, and how do you separate? You have 3 dogs. So each of you gets 1 dog, and then you have to saw the other one.
Well, Elias gets 1.
Oh, God.
We've decided.
Now, here's a lot of different questions I want to ask you guys, and we talked about this a little bit on the program months and months ago. Since we're still in a pandemic, where I'm talking to you not in person, but of course via Zoom, you have a son. Speaking of Jewish geography, a son that I met without even knowing who the hell he was when I was riding on the Long Island Railroad, and he was taking my ticket. And
yes.
I told you the story. He recognized me because I was on your computer every Saturday morning doing this nonsense. And it's like, and this is, I guess I was doing video already. And he said, do you have a show? I'm like, yeah, kind of. And then he says, oh yeah, my parents watch it. I'm like, great, I have fans. And then he tells, and we talk a little bit more, even in the little time that he's moving down the aisle of the railroad. And I said, wait a minute, are you Cynthia and Jeff's kid? And he said, yeah. And he said, not only did this stranger suddenly become like, oh, he knows who I am, but you're my cousin, we're blood. So how are we blood?
Your great-grandmother is a Shub, and her brother was my grandfather.
Okay, so
Your father's grandmother and my grandfather were brother and sister.
okay,
And
so
her name was
names,
Chana.
okay.
Or
Names
in
of
English,
yeah.
in English it's Anna, but
Right.
in Hebrew it's Chana, and I'm named for her.
So you're named for my
Your great-grandmother.
You're named for not her sister. You're named for my great-grandmother.
Yes,
I guess and that would be on my father's side, I'm assuming.
yes, your
Yeah.
father's side. Your great-grandmother was Shub, Chana Shub,
Right.
and she married Lefkowitz.
Mm-hmm.
And her first name, like I said, was Chana, and my Hebrew name is Chana Basha. I'm named for two of my grandfather's sisters.
So was that my great-grandpa Louis is we're talking about? Yes.
Yes.
Now, and by the way, for folks watching at home, no, I'm not related as far as I know to Louis Lefkowitz, the former
No,
Attorney General.
I've checked.
Different Louis.
Do something like that.
Alas. I'd be living a very different lifestyle if it was a different Louis, I'm telling you. But so that is how we are. We are quite literally. What does that make you? A second, a third, a first?
Let's see, the two. So my father and your father were first cousins.
Wow.
My father and your
Wait.
my father and your grandfather, I guess, would have been first cousins.
So my
Their
grandpa's
parents were siblings. So I and your father are second cousins.
Okay, and are you my third cousin then? Is it?
No, you and Elias are third cousins. You and I are second once removed.
Oh, I can't follow that stuff.
It just has to do with generations.
I had a hernia once removed. I cannot follow this kind of discourse and logic. Yeah, Jeff, you want to chime in?
My father and his grandfather were first cousins. Yeah.
Turning into a Woody Allen film here. I'm just like, I'm like, my gosh, you've explained it to me very clearly, and I still have no freaking clue. I've got to
One of these days,
yeah.
one of these days, check out the family tree. It's really interesting.
My cousin Michael is very much into. Have you ever met Michael Levine? My wonderful cousin Michael.
I believe I have. I believe he and my dad were close. I know that he and my dad and Bonnie and her husband were very close. You know, I mean, I knew all the names.
Tell me, you know what? Tell me something, if you can, about if you know anything about my great-grandfather Louis.
I don't. He's a little bit too old for me to have known him.
Yeah.
But whatever I do, whatever I find, I put on the tree.
Yeah.
You know, because you can add notes and, you know, like where are they buried and where are they from, when were they born, all of that's on the tree.
Yeah, but I'm always hoping for stories and anecdotes to have, because obviously I've never met my grandpa Louis, or I don't know if you ever met my grandpa Sam and my grandma Lucy. You guys know?
Know the names.
Know the names. Right.
I don't know. You know, my dad died very young. So, you know, he's gone a very long time.
Sorry, yeah.
So I really, you know, that was the end of my contact with the Shub side.
Right.
And it was a very small family. My father had no siblings. So I really never, it was very exciting to me to find Shub relatives.
Yeah, well, did you do the 23andMe thing? Because apparently
Yes.
I've got 4 million relatives all over the planet.
Yeah. Well, it's Jewish endogamy. Jeffrey and I are related. We're like fourth or fifth cousins, but all Jews are related. When you get down to it, we're all related because.
Little villages.
But they said, what I read is there were like 300 Jews to start with, and we all come from the same. And
every single one of them was annoying. It's amazing. Every single one of those first 300 Jews.
Right.
Rabbi Saul just handed this to me. Rabbi Saul just said, yes, it's true. It's true.
Rabbi Saul probably knows this.
Yeah. No, but we make fun of the Orthodox. I make fun of the Orthodox for their inbreeding, and they're all like copulating with each other, having kids with 4 heads. But it's
Listen, on my tree, I have first cousins married many times. We have men who married, you know, their sister-in-law. We have,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
after the, you know, that was the custom when if the wife passed.
Because of Tay-Sachs Jamboree.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that we have that, the Jewish
Yeah, the
genetic
gene
diseases.
pool. I mean, we gotta stop marrying our cousins, even if they're third or fourth or you know. But no matter how far apart we go, we're gonna run into a cousin if they're Jewish.
My uncle was on a date. He found out that he was on a date with his third cousin who we'd never known.
So
mean,
is that close enough? Or if you marry a third
Oh, no,
cousin,
my first cousins who married, their children and grandchildren are fine. I mean, it's only if there's a problem that
Right.
you stand a greater risk of passing it on.
I don't know. That's the Sunni Woody Allen logic. I never in blood.
That's another story. Where that's not us.
Now let me ask Jeff. Jeff, also again, I'm gonna for you. Are you a lawyer? What do you do?
Oh,
What kind of law? What do you do?
mostly divorce, some real estate, but I don't practice now. I don't practice anymore. I had to give it up for medical reasons a few years ago. Yeah, nothing that I can't live with, but
And that's why I
yeah.
still work.
yeah, but it's too difficult.
All right. Well, I'm certainly sorry to hear about. I know you posted something on your Facebook page where you're in like this hospital gown and a cute little the bubble hat they gave you.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like
surgery. I had knee replacement a couple of years ago.
When you had what replaced?
His knee was replaced.
Oh, knee. Oh, how's your knee? How did it work out?
It's great. I can't wait to do the other one.
Oh.
It's fantastic. It's the only part of it that doesn't hurt.
He had a very, very, very easy recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, really did.
Not hell of I. It happened in the past. We don't have to wish it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The other one.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, if you are a divorce lawyer, does that weigh on you? Because you're just dealing with angry,
Yes. Very
miserable.
much.
Yeah.
Very much.
I can't tell you how many times, because I worked with Jeff. I left my job at the bank and I went to work with Jeff. And I used to cry. The stories were unbelievable. When you would find out the reasons that people were getting divorced, people molesting, people killing. We lost 2 of our clients after they were murdered by their spouses.
One on the news.
Yeah.
The lead story on the news one night, on Saturday night, Eyewitness News lead story, a man from Suffolk went and shot his wife, killed her, then drove to his job in Queens and killed his boss. And it turns out the woman had an appointment with him Monday. He found out about it and killed her.
Wow. So you never got the check.
No, we didn't.
No check.
And we used to get threatening letters.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, think about it. You are representing the other side in an incredibly emotional, heated dispute. Did anybody ever try and actually carry out a threat, or would they just?
But we once received an envelope with white powder, and we called the police and had them take it because we didn't know what it was. We once got a letter that said, "I know where you live. You are divorcing my friends. Do not do it." But
No
they
people.
never said, "Oh yeah, I know people," but they never told us who the couple was.
Oh, that's brilliant. And that's so smart. Wow. Well, so good on you for getting out of that. Yeah, Jeff.
Always felt an obligation to make sure that people really know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they really want to go ahead with the divorce. So we would speak with them separately. And one man did not want the divorce. He loved his wife. He was crazy in love with her. And Cynthia took the wife aside and said, "Are you sure about the divorce? Are you sure about it? If I had a gun, I'd blow his brains out."
So we went ahead with it, My sister's asking if we have any funny stories.
Yeah, do you have any funny? Great
Well, the
question.
elderly couple, a
Oh,
woman
the elderly couple that were married for
yeah,
like 80 years.
She was like 85 years old. She was
60 years.
absolutely humorless woman. And she came in and she looked like she had just come from Russia. She was, here the whole life. And her husband has millions of dollars in the bank and won't give her anything. They live in the dark. She has no
They live
life.
in public housing.
Yeah, basically it was Section 8 housing. And I didn't believe the woman. There was no way that they were living there.
They live in Section 8.
$8.
The husband was a bus driver.
No, he was a baker.
A baker.
And not, he didn't own the bakery. He was a worker in a bakery. So the husband came in to speak with me, I asked him to come in to speak with me because I wanted to hear his side before he had. I wanted him to get a lawyer for one thing, because I didn't want to deal with something like this without both sides being represented. And
You asked him, do you have this money?
Yes. Where'd you get millions of dollars? Well, my wife worked. We lived on her salary. Everything I earned, I put away.
He brought in his bank book.
I had a couple $1 million in the bank.
And they split the money.
Yeah.
They agreed to split it 50-50,
No
and then they
problem with it.
stayed married.
Oh, there you go. Well, okay, oddly enough, a happy ending. How amazing. Did you ever, since you guys are obviously Jewish and within the Jewish community, did you ever arbitrate any Orthodox divorce?
Yes.
That community, I'm wondering if you
Okay,
feel
here's
pressure.
a funny one. Husband did not want the divorce, and so he refused, and we couldn't get him served. We tried to get a process server to serve him, and one of them comes back and said, even with a photo, I can't tell, they all look the same.
And if they deny, they're just walking around and say, "Oh, it's a person with a black hat." And
Right,
Right.
black hat, they have
Oh, beard.
pays, and a beard, right.
Yeah,
So that,
prominent
do that.
nose. Yeah. Right. Oh man. So let's also ask, of course, Cynthia. So you helped Jeff for a certain period of time with his law practice, but you're not doing that anymore. You are working, and are you in education or something like that, or what do you do?
I'm a teacher. I went back to teaching in 2001.
And what age? What levels?
I have 4 different teaching licenses, so I teach anywhere from pre-K through high school.
Wow.
And I've done different subjects. I started out as a speech therapist, and then I got my common branch license, which is pre-K through 6th grade, and so I taught 6th grade math. I have my master's in finance, so I can teach business courses, which I've done. I taught business, I taught keyboarding, and then I got my instructional technology.
What is keyboarding? Is that typing?
Typing. What they call it here, typing.
Yeah.
And then I got my instructional technology license. So I taught computer coding and other computer courses.
So what is one of the funniest things that's ever happened to you as a teacher?
Funny.
Don't name names because it's FERPA stuff, but what, you say that like everything that's happened to you is tragic. More suicides, more people getting their heads blown off, or what?
No, I'm trying to think back. I've had some moving things from when I was in speech, emotional things. The only thing I can remember happened a million years ago. These kids, they just ask anything. So this kid one day was sitting in the hall, I'm doing hall duty, and this girl says,
I hope you wiped up that hall duty. Yeah, sorry.
What's the furthest you ever went with a guy? Yeah, she asked me that, and I said, Miami.
What a beautiful Jewish answer that was right there. And that's what she was asking. She was innocent, and she just wanted to know.
Of course she was.
Yeah. So here's the deal. You are a teacher still.
Yes.
What the hell's happening on September 8th? I mean, are you going to be in a classroom?
I myself, due to the fact that I am both old and have underlying conditions,
Me too.
I will be home.
Mm.
So it's the first time I'm glad to be old.
So the district is allowing that?
Yeah, New York City has a list of conditions.
Right.
One is over 65. One is have a BMI over 30. One is smoking. Then there's asthma, cancer, immunosuppressed.
And you have all of these.
I have quite a few of them, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I do,
Yeah.
but that's okay. None really interfere with my life, but they do make me more susceptible. Especially my asthma, and if I take prednisone, that makes me immunosuppressed.
So how's this going to work? Any kid who wants to take your class has to take it from home, right? So it's a completely...
Well, they're going to have, it's very strange. They're going to have the kids going in every, 2 or 3 days a week. and then they'll be learning from home the other 2 or 3 days because the building's just too small.
Right, yeah.
You can't have more than 9 or 10 kids in a room, and we have classes up to 30. We don't have any empty classrooms. So, well, I had some kids who actually last year did better with, remote learning. They did better because they didn't have the distraction of the other children.
Sure. Jeff, I can hear you.
We're focused on the computer. And these kids who were troublemakers in school were really sitting there and participating and learning.
Yeah, it was great for some of the kids. For some of the kids, it wasn't. They did need somebody to make sure they got on the computer. You know, I can't make a kid turn the computer on and sit there, but once they're there,
Right.
we had great participation. My school did very well. Some schools didn't, and I've heard that it didn't work for some, but my kids did very well.
One thing I liked was one kid started to act up on the computer, the teacher could mute him.
Right, I love that.
Yeah, it's like
I
boom.
wish I could do that in the building.
But you can
Push a
actually
button.
take attendance. I mean, you can tell if a student is showing up and physically there and looking. I mean, they might go to the bathroom for a minute and then come back, but there is a way.
No, it was great.
The kids were great. We had great conversations. We had great participation. I had some parental participation. It's like, I don't need to know that you know this. I really need to know that your child knows this.
Excellent.
But
Done right, they can learn a lot.
yeah, it worked for us.
Speaking of children, I forgot to mention, we were talking before about your kid, who I met on the Long Island Railroad. What I didn't mention is that, you know, this pandemic we're having is not a hoax. It's real, and your son suffered from it.
He got it very early. He got it back in March. And he totally lost his sense of smell. It's still coming back. He ran high fevers. He had hallucinations. But
Was
he's
he
recovered.
hospitalized? Did he have to go to the hospital?
No.
But
It's a mild case.
and that was a mild
It
case.
did not affect his breathing, which was good.
Because we have the things that check your oxygen level. You know, you put your finger in. He said it never went below like 98. So it didn't attack his lungs. It attacked his intestinal tract.
Oh.
There's like 2 versions of it. He was lucky.
He did. He was back working for the LIRR, what, like 3 weeks later? How much later?
About a month.
About a month later.
And did they ever figure out, I mean, if he's got the antibodies, if he
Yeah,
can?
He does. He has
Okay.
antibodies, but we don't know if he still has. We don't know how long they last.
So
So-
are you allowed to be around him?
Well, I try not to be. The way this house, you know, we're renting since we sold our house.
We're moving to Arizona.
Right, you know, we bought a house in Arizona. So until we move, we rented this house. And so he has upstairs and we have a bedroom downstairs. And so during that, when Elias was ill, he was upstairs. Jeff and the dogs were in the living room and I was in the bedroom. And we just stayed totally apart, totally.
Wow.
And now, you know, I have to be near him now. We've been out looking for a house for him, which I believe we just found. We had the inspection this week.
Oh,
Thank you. Waiting for the contract. You know, so I have been out with him. I don't know if he can catch it again. That's my concern. Can he bring it home? I don't know.
well, you guys can, I mean, you're more, I mean, he had it. He got over it. So he's strong. He's young. You guys are susceptible. I mean, he brings it to you from some
Yeah, we won't
right in
make
the mail. Yeah.
If he brings it here, we're not making it. And
Wow.
so we're trying to, I don't go anywhere except to look at houses. That's it.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I'm going, wow, but everybody's living like that. I don't go anywhere except to work and to shop in the supermarket. You know?
Yeah, I send him to shop.
Can I ask Joyce if you can bring me my cell phone? Because I want to remind our guest, because in just a couple of minutes, if you see it, if you can't find it, let me, oh, there it is. Or text him, yeah. Because we're going to have you guys playing our trivia game, our Today Yesterday game, in just a couple of minutes. And I'm hoping that my good friend Jeff will be playing against you. We'll do it in sort of a tournament style. And if that doesn't happen, we'll just play it with you guys. But yeah.
Are we going to be calling out the answers, or how do you want that?
Well, what I'll ask you to do is, if you know the answer, just hold on to it for a moment so people can kind of play at home. But yeah, it's going to be a little. It's not going to be like every week here where I say the question, I say it again, and then 5 minutes goes by before I can give the answer.
The delay is enormous.
Yeah, but if it's more like a game where people are tuning in to watch Jeopardy and it's you versus Jeff, I can make that more of a game and not delay so much.
Right.
And I can ask for the answer pretty quickly, which should be fun. So anyway, but first of all, let me remind people, that we're talking with my cousins, Jeffrey Kirsch and Cynthia Shub Kirsch. Ah, fantastic. Yes, thank you. We just reminded Jeff, in case he should be awake, he should be back in New York. And I'll give him a couple minutes to sign on. If he does, fantastic. If he doesn't, let me also remind people, it's 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. It is our 758th episode of the program. We're calling it Shooby-Doo in honor, even though Jeffrey is actually a Kirsch, in honor of the Shub branch of my family tree. Let's see, our archives are at davesgoneby.com, also at archive.org and castbox.fm. And this program is partially brought to you by the fine folks at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the copy kings of Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island. So if you have any copying or printing or binding that you need to do, if you want to put your logo on a shirt or on uniforms, if you want to put up calendars that promote your business, if you need business cards, if you need wedding invitations, if you need balloons and banners and you need office supplies, Hewlett Minuteman Press is the place that can personalize that for you and really get your business going.
Aren't they also a UPS drop-off?
Oh yeah, that was one of the reasons that they were an essential service during the early days of COVID. They didn't close. They had limited hours, and they unfortunately had to cut back staff during that time. But they were there, doing their thing. Hewlett Minuteman Press, 516-569-5577, area code 516-569-5577. And if you tell them Dave sent you, you get 10% off any job, big or small. So give them a call, 516-569-5577. Hewlett Minuteman Press, they are the copy kings. Well, I feel king of the world when I get to do this program every Saturday morning. It is August 8th, 2020. And so we think about the many, many August 8ths that have passed in previous times. So I've come up with a quiz that we do every week called Today Yesterday. So yesterday is August 8th, but I'm going to ask a bunch of trivia questions all about August 8th in history. And I'm going to give Jeff until 11:03 to try and take. He's probably sleeping in, but I'm going to give him.
We scared him.
He doesn't want to play against you guys. You guys go. Yeah. See if we can get him on the phone. Because what I can do is start reading the rules, but the rules won't make sense unless he joins. So I'm going to give Jeff one more. Let me ask you one more question then. Of you guys, I noticed from reading your Facebook posts and you update them a lot. You're no fan of our president.
How could you tell?
So we know how you're going to vote in November, but I mean, what do you have most against? Because I'm ambivalent. I don't like Trump for a lot of reasons, but I think he also gets the short end of the stick a bit more often than he deserves. So, what do you?
I respectfully disagree.
He lies.
He never tells the truth. He makes things up, just makes things totally up. He has broken many laws. He's broken presidential precedent.
I'm not denying anything you're saying, yeah.
you know, I mean, this latest thing that Biden is going to hurt God and the Bible, coming from a man who never goes to church. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and I do blame him for the pandemic response.
You do.
I know.
Yeah.
I know some people who are no longer with us. I know people who are recovering. I know people who are cowering in their homes because they have, or their children have previous conditions, and this is just.
So a better president in January.
Nothing good to say. Tell me one. Oh, how about
what?
How about all the money in that supposed tax cut? My taxes went up, and wealthy people got all this money, and he's going to try to use trickle-down economics, which didn't work when Reagan was president. And
all the things that people said were going to happen happened.
But,
and a lot
then
more.
some,
A lot
right?
more.
I could go on and on. You
I
read my
just
page.
want to get that out there and to have your piece about it. And as I said, it's not like I love our president either, but sometimes I defend him, and it's good to be reminded of why not to defend him.
I really wish I could find something nice to say.
Listen, I have voted Republican in the past. It's not like I am a far-leaning left progressive. I always considered myself somewhat centrist. But boy, he's pushing me.
He's gotten button. I just, you know, if Biden can keep his mouth shut and not say as many stupid things as Trump, he should be able to get in as president. And then
one of the things,
senile. Yeah.
As a speech therapist, as a human, I get very angry when he comments on the way Biden speaks. Biden has been a lifelong stutterer.
Oh, didn't realize that.
And he's not fumbling because his brain is off. He stutters. He's admitted it, and you know, it's just a fact. And
well, you remember one of the earliest things that Trump did was make fun of the guy who came off as kind of retarded. And remember that? It's one of the greatest clips ever of a president doing anything. He's like, yeah.
Yes. He teases the handicapped.
Yes. So do I. But
he's also destroyed the media. I mean, say every channel, every news outlet, every paper, they're all lying. Only Fox tells, well, now he doesn't like Fox anymore.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to challenge you a pre-trivia question challenge, though, Cynthia, since you worked as a speech therapist. Okay. I had speech therapy for many years when I was a kid. Tell me why. You can say it. You probably, it won't embarrass you.
Lip.
Exactly. Just checking. Just clap lip and palate, actually. So, yeah.
I don't know the extent, but yes.
Yeah, sometimes it would fascinate me when people would just hear me and not even see this and know that from the way I spoke, from the way I, after even years of therapy. So you got it in one. So you're 1-0. I'll give you credit.
1-0.
So we're not going to play, unfortunately, the round robin back and forth tournament. I'm just going to ask you a bunch of trivia questions in our trivia game, which is called, which I first had, Today, Yesterday, duh. Are you guys ready? Yep. So what I'll ask you to do is you can cogitate amongst yourselves, but I'll hold you answering for like a few seconds just because of the delay of other folks watching, okay?
I can probably enter it on the chat.
Here. That'd be cool.
The Zoom chat.
Yeah, but then that kind of...
Nobody else should see that but you.
Yeah, okay. And then I'll ask you to give the answer so that we're physically here and it still feels like a game for all of us. And by the way, Jeff, you're sort of off camera. I think you're doing something with the dog.
It's the dogs, and they don't want to, they won't leave us.
Oh.
Okay.
We miss ours.
I know, I'm sorry. You want one?
I mean, no, don't be sorry. They were delicious. But here we go. Joy's going to throw something at me. She's going to throw a giant beanbag at me. Thank you. Here we go. Our first question in our Today, Yesterday quiz for August 8th, the year 1709.
Remember it well.
Well, you're older than 60. Brazilian,
Shush.
Brazilian priest and inventor Bartolomeu Gusmão had a great day. After the King of Portugal allowed his petition, Gusmão did an indoor public demonstration of this usually outdoor idea. What was it? It's multiple choice. Okay. Was it the first indoor swimming pool, the first indoor mini coffee plantation, the first dirigible or airship, or the first indoor marathon? Okay, we go back to, I'll read the question again. 1709 was the year. Priest and inventor Bartolomeu Gusmão, wonderful day for him. The King of Portugal allowed him to do a demonstration indoors of this thing that had generally outdoors. Was he demonstrating the first indoor swimming pool, first indoor coffee plantation, first dirigible airship, or the first indoor marathon? So cogitate amongst thyselves.
We have different answers.
Oh, this is fine, because you don't have to be a team. Do you want to play against each other?
But we just have different answers this time.
Yeah, okay, well, actually, we can do that too, because you're like
No, he's usually right.
attorney. So
Sorry, Jeff is much smarter than I am.
well, then let's hear your answer first. Cynthia, what are you saying? Which one are you choosing?
I thought it was the airship.
Cynthia's saying the airship, the dirigible. Jeff, what's your answer?
Marathon.
I didn't hear that, I'm sorry.
Marathon.
The marathon, the indoor marathon. And my wife Joyce, who used to love coffee, now she's a big tea drinker. Sorry, rented lips. It's the hair lip. That's right. No, and the answer is. Oh, I didn't even do the. Well, one of you two is 1 and 0, because the answer is the airship. It was the first like pre-Zeppelin thing. He actually got a permit he took a ball and threw gas and stuff, made it rise in the air and demonstrated how an airship would work.
It couldn't go far, but he was able to demonstrate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So
hit the ceiling.
Jeff is like, he doesn't want to be wrong. He's a lawyer. He's like, it couldn't have been. All right, this is interesting. Okay, so it's 1 for Cynthia, 0 for Jeff. Let's get to our next question in our quiz. We move all the way up to 1844, capping nearly a week of urgent discussion after the death of Joseph Smith. The Mormon Church nearly chose Sidney Rigdon as its new leader. Instead, they picked who? So talk amongst yourselves. Don't turn away.
Say it again.
I will read the question again. 1844 is the year. After nearly a week of urgent discussion following the death of Joseph Smith, the Mormon Church almost chose Sidney Rigdon as its next leader. Instead, whom did they pick?
Wasn't that Brigham Young?
Yeah.
I said it.
Go with Brigham Young.
They're going with Brigham Young. You're saying?
Joseph Smith Jr.
Joyce says Joseph Smith Jr., which is kind of, and the answer is, oh, I didn't even have my prop for the question, but here we go. You are correct. You are both correct. It was Brigham Young.
So Sidney was Jewish.
He was not Jewish. He would have been Brigham Old before his time, not Brigham Young. Here we go. We've got our next question in our Today Yesterday quiz. 1921 is the annum. And again, wait a sec before you guys say the answer. You probably know this one. This athletic actress, born today, starred in such MGM films as Bathing Beauty, Neptune's Daughter, she's got it, and Dangerous When Wet. Name her. Give it a moment so that the people watching at home can play. Joyce, do you want to type yours in? I need to get to the Facebook page so I can see it.
It's Amy Mann.
It's not Amy Mann, who I would like to see in a swimsuit, but no, it's not Amy Mann. No,
It's like a pipe cleaner.
well, yeah. Yeah, kind of makes me want to clean her pipes, but I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, you have nothing else to throw at me, for God's sakes. All right, so I'll read the question one more time. Athletic actress in such MGM films as Bathing Beauty, Neptune's Daughter, and Dangerous When Wet was born today, and her name is?
Esther Williams.
Esther Williams it is. Well, did you know that one, Dave?
It took the name of one of our people said Gareth Williams.
Gareth, I don't know. It's Esther Williams indeed. Well done. So, Cynthia, I think you're like 3 or
I'm 3-0 unless you count that first question. That makes it 4.
makes it 4. That first question actually.
Each question.
Oh, okay, right.
Yes. Here we go. 1939. Here's one for you. We move still more to movies. Another movie question. The historical drama Cardinal Messias, directed by Goffredo Alessandrini, won first prize at this film festival, which was boycotted by the United States. Name the festival.
Venice.
Okay.
You're supposed to wait a minute.
Is there the way it's like instantaneous? Is that your final answer?
Yeah, yeah.
Joyce, do a game say that? Is anybody else? Oh, they're rocking it, ladies and gentlemen. The answer is Venice Film Festival, Italian film, and of course it was 1939. So America was boycotting
Mussolini.
really under Mussolini at that period, and of course the festival was kind of a joke that year because the films were selected by Mussolini and they were pro-Italian and they weren't, you know, it was politically correct films. Anyway, on to our next question. You guys are killing it today. 1945. Speaking of, you know, war things, Russia, the United States, and countries in the European Advisory Commission signed a charter today which set down rules and procedures for what post-war legal event. Quietly amongst yourselves.
Oh, I know that.
Okay. 1945. 1945 was the year Russia, America, and countries in the European Advisory Commission signed a charter today to set down rules and procedures for what post-war legal event.
Yeah.
I'll give you, before you say it, I'll give you a hint, and folks at home a hint. It was carried out later that year and into 1946.
Can you spell it when you say it so I
I think I know it.
Okay, let's hear your answer.
I'm saying the Nuremberg trials.
Jeff, are you on board with that? Joyce, Joyce actually got it early too. Well done. It was in fact the Nuremberg, ERG trials of ex-Nazi, because, you know, let's face it, I'm Jewish, you're Jewish. We can't go more than 10 minutes without mentioning the Holocaust. That's just the rule. Next question. You guys, oh my God, Cynthia, you're like 15-0 at the moment. It's incredible.
I should quit now.
Well, let's see. No, you might get this one. 1960 is the year. It's a musical question. Brian Hyland was only 16 years old when he sang this novelty hit with a long title. It's all about a shy girl who has a problem when she goes swimming, and it hit #1 on the Billboard charts today. Name that tune. I see your heads nodding.
Is it Voices Carry?
It's not. No, it's not. It's not even Jim Carrey. I'll read the question again for folks at home. 1960 was the year. I thought it was later than this. But 1960, Brian Hyland was only 16 years old when he sang this novelty hit with a long title. It's all about a shy girl who has a problem when she goes swimming. It hit #1 on the Billboard charts today. Name that tune about a girl who was afraid to come out of the water. Why? Go for it.
She wore an itsy bitsy yellow polka.
Oh, no.
Itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
Now you got it. I was going to have to deduct half a point there. Have to get the full title, like in Jeopardy. Itsy bitsy, teeny
Teeny
weeny.
weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
And did you know that the song was actually written by Paul Vance and Lee Pockris, who wrote, he wrote some Broadway shows, and the two of them also wrote the song Catch a Falling Star. So go
Did not know that.
Same.
Wouldn't want to look with me, I think.
And oh boy, aren't you lucky? It's time for a theater question.
Oh no.
Can I call my sister?
What?
I want to shout out to my Broadway star sister.
Oh,
My sister Lauren was on Broadway. I told you.
Lauren, remind
Shoot.
you didn't tell my listeners, but again, Lauren was in what? And
She was in The Utter Glory of Morrissey Hall
right,
in the 80s.
she's there with Colleen Dewhurst.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, how's she doing?
Well, she's moved out to California,
All
so
right.
she's doing great. She's with her grandchildren and her husband and enjoying.
She's amazing.
Oh yeah,
singer.
she's an amazing jazz singer.
Oh, her name is Lauren Shub.
Yeah.
Lauren S.H.
She has a,
She has an album. I'll send you a link to it.
Please, I can't play it on here because of copyright stuff, but I can direct people to it. Yeah, Lauren Shub. And did she do more acting after the Broadway thing, or
Well, she's done a lot of stuff. She's done summer stock. She's done commercials. She's done movies. She's been a lot. I don't have a resume, but yeah, she's been active.
Well, sure. Shout out to her, and then maybe we'll get her on the show too to talk about her career. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, she has worked with some very big names.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. You know, Joyce is in the wait a minute. That is your sister?
Yeah.
How old is your, no offense, but how old? If she was in the Utter Glory of Morrissey Hall.
She's a little tiny bit older than me. Tiny.
Right. Wow. If that's her, I mean, she looks 30. I wonder if that meant, well, anyway.
It says
It's
She's
Shub
on the
Jeans.
Pandora channel.
Oh.
Yeah, she's on Pandora.
She's on Pandora channel.
So find Lauren Shub on Pandora. Let's get back to the quiz, which is a theater quiz. So maybe your sister would be a little closer on this one. Let's see. 1964 is the year. Closing today at Broadway's Broadhurst Theater was this hit musical by the same duo who wrote The Fantastics. Now, this show was based on the play The Rainmaker and told about a spinster farm girl who was charmed by a rainmaker. Name the show. All my theater friends, Jeff would get this in like 4 seconds. So I'll read the question again. Closing today, back in 1964, at the Broadhurst Theater on Broadway was a hit musical by the same folks who wrote The Fantastics. The show was based on the play The Rainmaker, told about a young girl, little farm girl, no, it's not Oklahoma, who is charmed by a guy who comes to town, something of perhaps a con man, and rainmaker, or calls himself a rainmaker. It's not Carousel. However, here's a hint, because you guys seem to be fumfering on this one. Joyce mentioned Carousel, which was the first real major Broadway appearance of Audra McDonald. And Audra McDonald and Steve Kazee starred in the 2007 revival on Broadway of this same musical.
Doesn't know.
It's not The Music Man, right?
It's not The Music Man. Same kind of story oh boy. Oh man.
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
No,
Yeah,
well, you got the idea. Oh, got it.
He's hot. He's sweating. He's.
Because it's so, oh
But
my
come
God. Middle of the summer, it's not too
Damn hot.
not too damn hot.
Damn hot.
No, it's,
Damn hot.
oh, you know, it's even, no matter where you go, even under a building, even under a tree. What?
Camera on the roof.
Hmm? No, it's not. No, it's not. The answer is,
Shelter from a storm.
Better not be
No.
wise.
I'm afraid I have to take this one from you. 110 in the Shade.
Ugh, that's a stupid.
Oh,
My
never would've
sister got it.
She's playing a lot. Oh,
No, my younger sister got it.
oh, okay. How many sisters do you have here?
There's just the three of us.
Okay, so you got the two. And what about you, Jeff? Do you have siblings?
He has three sisters.
Mit Mazel. Oh, so they should know some Chekhov question. All right, anyway, moving on. So, what? That was good. That was a theater related. It was snappy. Moving on to our next question in our trivia quiz. 1992 is the year. It's a music thing. The lead singer and songwriter for Metallica suffered second and third degree burns during a pyrotechnics explosion on stage at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Can you name him?
Oh, he's so handsome.
Okay. Joyce is saying he's so handsome. I don't know if that's a hint or not. Here's our prop, by the way. This is our prop department came up with this just for this trivia quiz. Our prop department at Trader Joe's.
It's not Lars Ulrich. Lars Ulrich.
Well, that would be the other answer there.
Yeah, I don't think that's 1980 in music. 1980, I cut off.
And you ever saw that documentary about Metallica where they were breaking up, having all those mental problems and alcohol problems and stuff? You want to take a shot? Hunk, you had you're saying it's not the drummer guy.
It's not Ulrich.
So
James,
oh, wait.
James Herfield.
Oh, Hatfield.
Okay, I can't give this to either of you.
Hatfield.
No, that's not the real
My
McCoy.
younger sister is texting me an answer.
You're on the right track, but it's not quite the right name.
Hetfield.
It's yes, it is Hetfield.
That goes to my younger sister, Stacy.
James Hetfield. Now it sounds wrong to me, but that's it. It's James Hetfield is the the kind of the lead guy along with Lars Ulrich of Metallica. So
My sister Stacy got that one right, not me.
No, you're not. No, you got.
I know. I admit it. I don't know it.
Oh, I don't know if maybe your sister will get this one if she's younger, and Joyce might get this one. 1995 is the year for this next musical question. Released today, the Grammy-winning rap song "Gangsta's Paradise,"
Oh, I know that.
performed by a fellow named Artis Leon Ivy Jr. Well, he's better known by another name, and that name is, amongst yourselves.
I typed it.
You go, Joycey. Go. If you want to play along, we'll do this next week where you're really playing along, and
I
they,
have
it,
a couple of
yeah,
answers.
yeah. I can't see them.
Oh, look, it's an
MC Hammer.
Your answer is MC Hammer. Joyce has
Julio,
typed another.
Julio,
Well, can you hear her? Can you hear Joyce?
Julio.
It's unlike 110 in the Shade where it's Haudio.
Yo.
The answer is Coolio. Coolio is his real name was Artis Leon Ivy Jr. and he was the guy who gave us Gangsta's Paradise.
I didn't like that too much.
Okay, I don't even know this song.
See now, if Jeff were playing against her, I would have had this so that the questions would have been random and they could have gone to anybody. But here we go. Next question. 2006. So we're moving forward in the world now.
Is this the last question?
I think it is our last question. I think that might actually have been our tiebreaker. So I will ask this final question for you.
This is 10.
This is I thought I had 11. Uh-oh. I screwed that up. But it doesn't matter. So here we go. The year is 2006. A lawsuit was settled out of court today. Here we go. This one's for you, Jeff.
Was it Tom Cruise? I mean, was it Johnny Depp?
No, it's not the big Johnny Depp trial where they're talking about who made duty in his bedroom. Seriously, I mean, does this ring a bell between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Jeff, did you have
You get stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is different. This was a lawsuit between boxing heavyweight Chuck Wepner and this Hollywood screenwriter and actor who Wepner claimed plagiarized his life story. Whom are we talking about?
Sylvester Stallone.
Do you have, do you want to try that one, babe? You have an answer. I'll read the question one more time. Lawsuit settled out of court between heavyweight Chuck Wepner and the Hollywood screenwriter and actor who claimed that Wepner played is not Charlton Heston. And the answer is, you go out on a high note, guys. You punched that one right in. That was Sylvester Stallone. And actually, Stallone tried to cast Wepner in one of the Rocky sequels, but the boxer was too messed up on drugs at that time and couldn't pass the audition, couldn't remember his lines. So, yeah. So how did you guys do? I think, Cynthia, were you like 7-3 or something like that? Something like that.
Yeah, I didn't keep count today, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, and you were 6-4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Not bad, not too shabby.
And as I hope your friend Jeff can see, that we didn't cheat.
No, that's right. That's it. You do it all just by in your smart little brain heads there. Yes. Well done. So
Full of useless knowledge.
Yes, he's full of useless knowledge.
that's what trivia is. And that's the thing. Joyce feels bad when I ask these questions and, oh, you know I don't know these things. Nobody has to know these things.
I call him a triviate.
Yeah, it's all just, they're just questions. And if you're of a certain age, you might know them, you might not. It doesn't mean anything, but it's great that you get them. Makes you feel good for a minute. And it calls on the neurons of like, oh, I remember that. And that's the fun of it, But it's been great fun talking to my cousins, Cynthia Shub and Jeffrey Kirsch, or your Cynthia Shub Kirsch, I should say. And of course, seeing your amazing dogs. There was, I never remember the names. Repeat them again.
Bogey, Marlin,
yeah,
and Waylon.
And none of them is a dachshund. Because Marlin.
No, but I did want to tell you quickly how Bogey got his name.
Yeah.
After we lost our dog and Jeff was inconsolable, so we went to get a rescue, one rescue.
Mm.
So we picked Marlin, and they asked us, could you please take this sweet dog, foster this dog? You don't have to keep him, but we just can't bear to put him back in a cage, the look he gives us when we do that. And so we did that, and because they didn't charge us for this one, he was my buy one, get one. And so instead of calling him Bogo, we called him Bogey.
Oh, wait. I don't get it. Bogo.
Buy one, get one free.
What's
You're
wrong
supposed
with
to
me?
foster him.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
for half hours. That's what's wrong with me. But let me ask you, what they charged you? Wasn't this a cat? Weren't you doing them a favor by?
Yeah,
But there's still a
there's
fee
fees.
involved when you rescue a dog. I don't know, $200 or something.
Shots and things like that.
Yeah, because they've laid out money to, to give them all their shots and take them to the vet. And yeah, so there's still a fee. And then after we had the two, I decided to visit the place
Oh no.
one day.
Yeah.
And there was this sweet little, it was like this big. And I called home, and Elias and Jeff both said, don't you dare.
Right.
But I did anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Why you come in? Let's go looking for trouble.
I can never go.
For a sheltering and say, I'm just going to look. We're not buying, just window shopping. Forget it.
I can never go in a pet shelter. I can't go anymore.
No, don't. I mean, maybe I don't know how much room your Arizona place looks like a palace. You will have room for.
But I decided, because in that I can't put them out in the backyard alone. We
Right.
have to actually. It's not safe out there.
Yeah.
Well, they have
Oh,
mountain
snakes.
lions and snakes and.
Scorpions,
Arizona sounds wonderful. Yeah.
buzzards that come down.
Well, other than that, you haven't seen the pool yet. But other than that, so we decided we have to walk them. I can walk one, he can walk one. So we're at a limit of two. I
Oh, you
can't
have
walk.
three.
Well, one is staying with Elias.
Elias is your son, the COVID guy. Right. The
The COVID guy.
Yeah.
He's better, you say the Long Island Railroad guy. But yeah,
Right.
so he's claimed one.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So, and he's bought a house, so he'll have room for a dog.
Yeah,
Plenty
with
of-
a huge yard. The dog's going to be very happy. He won't have to deal with the other two. He likes to be alone more.
Hmm.
And these two were, when we rescued them, they had been rescued together from Kentucky. And so they always known each other. And so they need to stay together.
It sounds like a perfect situation, guys. And
It's worked out.
yeah, it's worked out fabulously to have you on the program. I would love to have you back next Saturday, either at 10:30 or 11. We'll work that out to do this trivia thing again if you're available. I think it's great fun.
We love it. We have fun with it.
Yeah, and it's also wonderful to talk to my cousins. It's not like we can go to a cousins club and go see these people I haven't either met or met briefly once in a blue moon for decades, and your blood. So
Did you ever mention to your dad? Did you mention my dad?
I'm not sure.
Ask if he remembers Eli,
Eli, okay, Eli, I'm sure he does.
because his name was very familiar to me.
Yeah. My wife says they might have gone to school together. I don't know. But now that we've established these ties, And we know that you're you're going to move away and got this nice house. So at what point do I get into your will? I'm supposed to get a laugh at it. Well, the lawyer laughs. Of course.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh. There we go. There's the laugh I was looking for. Cynthia and Jeff, it's great to have you in the neighborhood every week, and especially to physically see you and talk to you and Zoom with you in the neighborhood. This was absolutely a delight. So stay well to Elias's also. And when are you moving? When is your...
Well, I have another year till I retire.
Right.
I wasn't supposed to buy the house so soon.
Yeah, it's sitting there. Yeah.
I went out on vacation in February just to see Arizona, and somehow I bought a house.
Well, don't go back to Arizona. You'll end up buying another house.
I know.
Every time you walk down Arizona Street, it's like, no, I'm not going to. Oh, okay, let me go in. There's a sign.
Yeah, right.
Down payment. What the hell?
But you know what? It's taking so long because we closed in May, and the pool's still not done. I'm not going to Arizona without a pool. So we had planned to spend the summer out there.
Oh, this summer. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
didn't happen. So at least I'll be able to go out for Christmas.
Right. Right.
You know, so,
excuse me, Hanukkah. Come on.
well,
Hanukkah.
yes, but the city calls that break. Well, they call it the winter.
Yeah, it's winter, right? Uh-oh. You guys literally just froze. I think God got mad at you for talking about Christmas instead of Hanukkah. And he froze my cousin Cynthia and Jeff. But they have been absolutely... Did I freeze?
Oh,
Am I still going? Oh,
now you're okay. You were frozen for a minute.
I was frozen for us. Yeah. Well, now I'm good. Yay. So here's when you do move. Much success, much good health and good lives there. I know with all your comorbid conditions, you're basically a walking hospital there.
I love being described that way. Thank you. Thank you. But
all right, I'm sorry.
the warm, dry air is very good for us old folk.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, when we were living in Colorado, Joyce did not have the allergies that she has now.
Yeah.
All the stuff and the humidity and yeah. In Colorado, I breathe easier.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing to watch Jeff walking. We went to the botanical gardens, and he was walking like he was a youngster again.
Wow.
Nothing hurt.
Oh, his voice feel great. I mean, it just.
He was able to breathe better. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, Joyce is saying, yeah, of course he was breathing better. He was smoking cannabis, which is legal now, but I don't think it is. And Arizona probably isn't.
Arizona's a little conservative.
Yeah.
Less conservative.
But if I want it, I can always get it. So it's one of my comorbidities. I just, am not doing that.
I would just say, be careful if you live in Tucson because all the people there have Phoenix envy. Cynthia and Jeff, a delight to have you in the neighborhood. See you, God willing, next week. And all best to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, safe, and healthy week.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.